is my very favorite thing in Japan because there was a tablet. Even when I went there alone, there was no any difficulties for me to order. In Japan, there was a lot of things what we saw and experienced for the first time in our life.
こんにちは皆さん、テリチャンネルのテリです。
なのです。ひなたです。
いつも動画を見てくれてありがとう。今日はですね、ジョージアと日本はもちろんとても離れてますので、違いもたくさんありますよね。だから今日は日本にいてびっくりしたシーンについて姉ちゃんと話したいと思います。びっくりナンバー1。Onsen.
Onsen is my very favorite thing in Japan, and I would like to mention that when we were thinking about the things what we saw for the first time in our life in Japan, there was a huge list, but we tried a lot to pick.
Yes.
And onsen was really number one for us because we don't have this culture in Georgia. I thought it was some kind of entertainment, but after this, slowly I realized that it was not just an entertaining part of Japan, it was a daily life of Japanese people.
Yes.
Which amazed me really because I really have never experienced this kind of stuff, this kind of beautifulness of hot springs. There are many types, private and public hot springs and onsens. At first, I was really very shy to use public onsen, but then when I tried and when I realized how good was this, I wanted to try it every day and every evening. It made my hair and my skin quality and my face better. And one time I stayed in onsen for 6 hours. When I went back to our hotel room, I was sleeping all night with a peace of mind, and it really helped my mental state and my physical state. It was, in Georgia we don't have this kind of onsens, but we have some kind of hot springs, but not not everywhere like in Japan. We have this, for example, in Tbilisi and in Borjomi, because this is a natural hot springs what we have, but we don't have open onsens outside.
Outside はないです。
Yeah, which I loved the most in onsen. We have the name of our capital city because of the hot springs. When Tbilisi was not discovered, King discovered hot springs.
Accident.
And Tbilisi in Georgian means warm. Like, that's why we have name Tbilisi in Georgia.
そうですね、確かにめちゃくちゃ気持ちいいですよ。そしてたくさんに来ましたよ、日本で。だから特に It feels very good that when it's freezing cold outside, such as we've been in 知床 and when it's like a hot spring, and ひなたもめちゃくちゃ大好きだった、子供の温泉があってそこで入りましたとすごい好きだったね。
My favorite onsen was in Hokkaido. After this freezing cold, to take hot spring is the best one. In general, before coming to Japan, I really never realized even like what does the hot spring meant. And so it was above my expectations what I saw in Japan.
温泉は皆さんジョージアにもたくさんあります。でもジョージアはなんかenclosed buildingだけですよ。でも日本ではいろんな温泉は外もあります。それはとても違うです。And it has different kind of like 気持ちです。日本と英語のミックスで言ったら。Also, if you go there with the family, you have to book the room, one onsen, because family can go together. 男と女は普段は一緒はダメだからね。家族だったらもちろん行けます。びっくりナンバー2。働いている人の笑顔。
This second part, I don't remember even one place without this. Like everyone, when they ask me about what was the thing what I saw first time in Japan, it really comes to my mind that like when I went to everywhere, workers we are always smiling at us, and this was incredible, really. And I felt really happy because in Georgia, in general, no, we have some places where workers smile at you, but in general they don't do this, especially in shops. I think that's because like Georgia, as other countries, it was a part of Soviet Union once. So I think heaviness comes with people, this. And I think it's my opinion, they're so stressed that they just don't have a mood to smile. And one thing I heard from my foreigner friends, they said that they liked this in general, that people were not smiling in this kind of places because they are not smiling at you because it's their obligation.
Yeah.
You know, they just express their true self. But for me, work is a different place where you have to forget about your stress or about your personal life or this kind of stuff. So I really appreciate what I saw in Japan. Before the service, people were making me happy, and after this everything was more beautiful and more satisfying.
働いている人のために大変かもしれませんですけど、彼らの映画は they are making somebody's day more beautiful, you know, because it feels very good when you are, for example, even in bedwood and seeing somebody smiling. It gives you like a positive energy, and I like it so.
If you ask me, the best thing from Japan was like people. These people made this country perfect and incredible. In Georgia, in general, we have places where they smile at you, and a lot. For example, in fancy restaurants, if you go, they smile a lot and they make you feel better. But at the end, when they give you a paycheck, there is a 15% for their service. So
これで皆さんジョージアに働いているところで somebody is very polite to you, it means that their politeness and their smile is not free.
But in Georgia in general, if we forget about the public services, people we have with a great heart, and we know how to respect our guests. You know what's the interesting thing in Georgia? If a local family invites you as a guest at their home, it is much better than a fancy restaurant because they have a great sense of hospitality, and you will feel yourself really appreciated, and you will realize from these local families what a great heart real Georgian people have.
Yes. それは本当にめっちゃ大きいです。特に村に住んでる人たちから。びっくりナンバー3エンハンスメント。これは日本でとても大事なものです。なぜなら、例えばトランスポートで、例えばメトロとか電車乗るときにいつもなんかエンハンスメントがあります。そこで。でもこれは It's not that なんか machine is speaking and it's a recorded voice. Always somebody is speaking in a live, and it's very cute that, for example, if it's a snowy or rainy day outside, they are even reminding you that please don't forget umbrella when you leave, or please don't forget your belongings, and they are always remind you this, and they saved me many times like that, you know, because announcement when they say please don't forget something, I was forgetting, and when I checked it, I took it.
Yes.
And it's not only in the metro, but for example in the bus when you are riding, also driver is always speaking. For example, like 今から左に行きます、今から右に行きます、今から止まります、ずっとこうやって喋ります。なんか when you pay at the end or like entering, always ありがとうございますとか、そんななんか their speaking is always with you. This is also very important, not only to reminding you some stuff. If the train is very late, for example, they are giving you announcement that 電車はなんか5分遅れします。Also, for example, when you are in a train, so many times metro doors are opening not only one side but this way, and it will tell you that, for example, この駅で右のドアが開きますとか、そんな感じが言ってます。例えばジョージアに we have metro also, and most of the stations are opening door on the only right side, you know, but only there is one station which opens in the left, and it's always very confusing because if you are touching on a door like this and it's going to open, you will fall down or something. だからそれはめっちゃ面白いです。びっくりナンバー4。
My favorite?
居酒屋。
I have a lot to speak about izakaya and restaurants in Japan. At first, even when I was staying in Georgia before coming to Japan, I have never visited bar. And always I had a different imagination about bar. I thought it was like going there and just have a drink without any food and dance and having fun, and it's all. But Japanese izakaya just changed all my view of the bar. Love the izakaya system very much. You go there, you have a drink, and you order food, and this food different from a restaurant. They give you with a smaller portion, so you can order how much you want, and you can eat and drink how much you want. And the staff is also very polite, and they even showed me my seats here to stay, and also izakaya was very comfortable as a foreigner for me because there was a tablet. Even when I went there alone, there was no any difficulties for me to order, and I was surprised in a very satisfied way. So about restaurants, that in a restaurant always we saw a queue, like people were waiting for their queue even for 1 hour or more, and when other people finished, they went there to eat, and we did this also. We went in a queue. In Georgia, you can never see this, and especially out of the restaurants, there were chairs where you can stay and wait, and there was also papers where you can write your number, and they call you when it's your turn. In Georgia, just when we go, and if it's full, we leave this place. No way that someone will wait here.
It's very funny that Georgians are not punctual, and also Georgians doesn't love to wait. We are lazy to wait.
This was really shocking, not surprising, like shocking for me, that I saw in front of the ramen shops, in front of the restaurants, a huge queues of people and lines. Yes,
this is very different from other countries, that when you go to restaurant, as Nana mentioned, the food what you order, it's coming with very big portion, but when you go to bar, it's very small and you can order many. It's like that.
Like I did.
Try many, because I've been in also izakaya. びっくりナンバー5、面白い自販機。これはとてもなんか日本のめちゃくちゃ人気なカルチャーです。because everyone knows about Japanese vending machines that it's so incredible.
Yes, even Japanese realizes.
So many everywhere.
And what amazed me the most was that one time we went on the rock mountain. On the mountain there was a vending machine. This is unbelievable, because in Georgia we have villages where we don't have
markets
shops.
Even.
Even markets. Can you imagine how shocking this was for us, that we saw vending machines in mountains, in forests? You can buy many variety of drinks, even food. So
this is so unbelievable.
Really.
Because for example, for me, what was very surprising, toilets, public toilets, when you go, I saw that there was vending machine for the napkins, and also one time I was ran out of Hinata's diapers. And when I went to the children's room in a public area, I saw vending machine for the diapers, and this was very useful, and this is really on every step. Not only that, but I saw also vending machines for sandwiches. And it was very cute that it not directly drops like this, it's coming like very slowly, like on some plate, and coming down like this.
Also, near restaurants, near hotels or bars where you can buy drinks by yourself, even there, like right next to the hotels or restaurants or shops, there are vending machines. And price is fixed everywhere, so this is a very good point.
Also very useful, because when you are outside in summer and you always want water, right? And for example, me, I was drinking so many water in Japan because I need it for the breastfeeding. This is really incredible, and there is really every kind of vending machine. Something you can even never imagine also. そして皆さん、最後にびっくりナンバー6、Ocean. I think it's only Japan who has one word for both of them, so many people are getting confused in Japan, that when you say ocean, they don't know that what is the difference between sea and ocean. But for example, geographically there is big difference between ocean and the sea. Sea is surrounded by like countries always, and もちろん海と比べたらめちゃくちゃ小さいです。
And oceans are much larger than the sea, and it's between the continents.
It's like some creatures in the ocean which you can't find in the sea. For example, when we went in Okinawa and we were swimming in the ocean, to be honest, I was very scared,
Me too.
Because I know that there is many things under the water, and I was very scared of it, not to even step on the ground, because I was thinking there would be something under
the ocean. This was really our childhood dream, to see the ocean, and when we saw this the first time, this was incredible, and of course we will never forget about this. Especially like Okinawa was like heaven, like some scenery from the movie.
I really love ocean, and you can surf You can do surfing in the ocean, and you can do that in sea so much.
In Japan, there was a lot of things what we saw and experienced for the first time in our life.
多分ママも日本に行ったらびっくりするものはたくさん見ると思います。だからそれも楽しみです。ということで皆さんびっくりしたものはまだ多いですけど、今話すんだったら多分明日まで終わらないです。だから今日はこのビデオはここで終わります。最後まで見てくれてありがとう。次のビデオでお会いしましょう。またねー。